Okay, good morning, everybody. Hey, this is Charles Whitener. It's December of '08, and I'm sitting here today with Savita Gay, one of the newest RVPs in Primerica and one of the newest RVPs in our hierarchy, promoted by Columbus Pilot out of Virginia. And what we're doing is putting together a series of CDs, in which right now there's a total of 13, including this one, on prospecting. Prospecting is one of what I believe are the first of the 10 basic fundamentals of our business. And fundamentally, there are certain things that you're going to have to accept, master, and execute in order to position yourself that you can generate income. One of the keys in this business initially, despite how great the opportunity is I believe that you've got to first learn how to make money at it, how to have working capital so you can keep yourself in business. And that's done with accepting, mastering, and executing the basic fundamentals. What allows you to go build a business and ultimately a hierarchy is developing systems that become duplicatable and transferable so other people can see themselves doing it and go do it. And as a result of the override system, you compound your efforts. Those are some critical things. When you look at the fundamentals, let's go through and just kind of talk about what they are. First off, there's prospecting. Then you got to set appointments. You got to go through the presentation. You have to handle concerns of your client. You want people to get involved as a client and get referrals. You want people to get involved as a recruit and get referrals. You want to go through the field training process. You want to go through the process of pushing up people, which is critical, and it's real critical. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit about, people. And I was talking with you earlier today at McDonald's, and we talked about, remember the times, and I remember too when, my mom would put, her arms around me and how good I felt and how comforting it was, especially when you do something good, or your dad gives you a big hug or something. And it's that big sign that says, make me feel special, make me feel good. Yes, I brought home great grades and I feel absolutely fantastic about it. And you're just super, super excited about the whole thing. And through the process of pushing our people, it's critical for us as leaders to help our people to get that kind of feeling. And they get there and they get their first sale, they get a form of recognition, a first recruit, and they get a license. They go for, like right now, we have the surge team bonus, or they're going for promotion from rep to district, or rep to senior rep, or district to division, or they're on track for a contest with the company or in the office. The recognition is critical, and this, I think that it's important that we do and do a quality job with it. That's number 8. Number 9 is a commitment to a lifetime of self-improvement. I believe that we've got to continue to work on ourselves and getting better. We have to continue to work on ourselves and getting better with what we do. I believe that the more value that we bring to the world will respond to you with compensation. So if you want to make $100,000 a year, you have to be worth $100,000 a year. And as a result of that, you'll position yourself to become, super successful and very financially independent. So those are some critical things along the way. Number 10 is to have a positive mental attitude. Expect the best. Expect good things. Look forward to the next interview, even though the last guy said, no, this is not what they want to do. The guy before said that. The guy before that said that. Heck, all day long, all week long, everybody said no. Still be excited about the next person. The next person, you just have to have belief that the next person is going to be the one that's going to come in and help your business go to a new level. They're going to see what you see and decide to get excited and go for it. And so those are some critical things that you got to go do. Those are 10 basic fundamentals. And that's what I want to talk about. So we got that. This CD is going to focus on, and I do want to say this, and once you accept, master, and execute those 10 things, Savita, you and anyone else will make money here. So accept, right, which believe, accept it. You have to master it, and then you have to do it. So you can know it and not do it. You won't make money. You can go run around and do stuff, probably not make money. You might get lucky. But if you accept, which means believe, master, and execute, you will make money here. And I believe it's important to master that part, so that you can be around long enough to benefit from the building of an organization. So those are some critical things. Now, when we go and talk about prospecting, and I want to spend energy on that, and what I believe is that the biggest challenge that faces people today, one of the biggest challenges that faces people today in our business with Primerica, is prospecting. People are, Some people are afraid to talk to people because some people are going to tell you no. There will be bargain people say no or no thank you. And let me share with you guys, I've been here now 27 years, approaching my 28th year. And all the time I've been here, I've never ever had anybody pull a knife on me because I talked to them about joining the company. No one's ever pulled a gun. No one's ever, threw bricks at my car, scratched my car. No one's ever threatened my family. Nothing's ever happened. The worst thing that's ever happened to me when I talk to people about our business, and they've either said no or no thank you. That's it. That's it. They either say no or no thank you. And the car would say, I'll get back with you. Because they just don't want to tell you no. So no thank you, or I'll get back with you. That's the worst that's ever happened. So guys, when you're talking to people, nothing bad is going to happen to you except no thank you, or I'll get back with you. So you've got to get used to that and let that go away. It's like, but most people say no to advertising. When you go drive down the highway and you see a sign that says McDonald's, do you stop at every one?
No.
So you're telling them no thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, because they put the sign up to advertise. Mm-hmm. When we see TV commercials and show Circuit City and we got the newest GPS system in, we don't get up and run down the street and go buy it. Not everybody does. So every time that happens, we say no thank you. When I go to the airlines and I travel and they often say, hey, would you like to upgrade your flight? It's a little short flight. $70. That's $70 to upgrade 2-hour flight. No, thank you. But they still make that, They make that gesture. They ask that question. So there's nothing wrong with the word no. It's nothing wrong with the word no. It's just another word in our vocabulary, just like dog or house. It's another word in our vocabulary. So you got to be comfortable with that and let it go away. Because the real benefit is at the end of the day, the person who prospects the most people, both directly and indirectly, it has the greatest opportunity to give more presentations, both directly and indirectly. And the person who gives the most presentations, both directly or indirectly, will recruit the most people most directly or indirectly, will call the most people most directly and indirectly, will develop the most leaders both directly and ultimately develop the most RVPs. And therefore that person will indirectly or directly have the greatest lifestyle through the process of overrides. So prospecting is the key to what you and I are going to have to become comfortable with. And so after thinking, how did I develop my style of prospecting? I'll cover part of that on this tape. My style of prospecting is a little bit different than most other people's, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own style. And you asked a good question when you came in our home, because we're at our home in Dallas, and you asked me, how do we come up with the ideas about this house? And I said, we came up with the ideas, I guess, through life and looking at magazines and going to different people's houses, and some ideas and things popped up, and we developed, boom, what we like our house to be. And I believe that prospecting is going to be the same way. You're going to go through and develop your style of prospecting. We talked about, like today, you had on some pointy-toed shoes. I call them cockroach killers because they get in corners real good. And you had on some blue jeans and a sweater and some beads around your neck. And I wore some black shoes, socks, black jeans, I guess looked like a nice shirt.
Yeah, dress shirt.
Yeah, and I even got on a T-shirt up underneath, right? And I wore a black leather jacket, and I don't know what color is yours?
What color coat did I have on? I had on a black wool coat.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so you dressed according to your style and your comfort level for the day. I dressed according to my style and my comfort level for the day. Some parts were the same. We both had on jeans. Yours are blue, mine are black. Mm-hmm. But other than that, they're different. But you're correct 100% in your style and your comfort, and I'm correct 100% in my style and my comfort. So what we're going to want you to do is, through this process of listening to these leaders who I'm going to share who's all going to be in this series, you can develop your style and your comfort level with prospecting. You probably won't pick any one leader and emulate that man or woman completely. But you might find, I think you will find, if you're looking, you'll find bits and pieces from each leader that can help you to develop your style and your comfort level with prospecting, so you can tell people about this great business and great opportunity that we have. for what we do for the American consumer. And so the first leader that we have on this series is Jerry Beyer and Gary Pulcinella. This series is called Prospecting and Inviting. It's one that they did several years ago, but I've listened to it. It is so good, so fundamentally sound. And I believe when you go through and you listen to it and you go learn this and master it, accept, master, and execute, that you become very, very comfortable with them. The next is one is titled Art at the Start, and I'd label this one on prospecting because he goes in and talks about prospecting and getting started, and that's art. This came from a series from him called Art at the Start. The next is a 4-part series from Jim Penn, and there's been several different versions of this, and this is the one I think is the best. It's 4 CDs, and it's called Prospecting. It's Jim Penn on prospecting, and what a powerful CD set that this is with Jim Penn talking about prospecting and inviting. And so it's a 4 CD set. The next from here is Bill Whittle on prospecting. Bill, of course, most people know Bill Whittle. Great guy, multi-million-dollar earner. He did a CD on prospecting. It's a 2-part set. So you have part 1 and part 2 of Bill on prospecting. You have the great Mike Tuttle, great guy who I respect, love so much, and he talks about his style of prospecting. $2 million earner, wonderful lifestyle. Mike on how to prospect. Then you have another one on art on prospecting from a different series. Then you have the great Larry Whittle, one of our great leaders. Real legend, huge guy, overrides Andy Young, John Lennon, Bruce Cox, several great leaders. Larry Whittle, what a wonderful guy. Then you have David Former. And then a closing for me, and this is David Foreman. He came to the school with us on prospecting, and that school was very, very good because he talked about prospecting. Again, I know that most people didn't listen to it, and I know most people didn't get it, but I do hope that in this series on prospecting that you get it, and that you listen to it and embellish it and practice it and find your way through here. And through this process that you develop a style that you can become comfortable with, where you will not feel bad and you'll feel good about going out and approaching the marketplace and say, hey, may I have a conversation with you? I'd like to talk to you about what we do. I'd like to share our business opportunity with you. I'd like you to come out and see if there's something we can do to help you with your own personal finances. Now, whatever the approach for the world, for it's going to be, you'll learn how to approach people a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit different. You'll develop and find your style. So that's why we put this together. I know it's a lot of material, but becoming financially independent and have a chance at it is a big deal too. So when you look at prospecting, at the end of the day, it's going to really fall up under really 5 basic forms. I think basic 5, maybe 6 basic forms of prospecting. First, you have your natural market. And in your natural market is, of course, the people that you know. And generally, the people that you know is where you really need to learn how to do this business. That's where you learn how to do the business. You're not going to build a business in your natural market. You'll learn that. And you really should go out and get a chance to see those people during your training process. And we won't talk about the training and how that kind of works, but that's what you want to go do during that process, is go out and work with your field trainer in your natural market and learn the business. You're going to go learn the fundamentals of this business, those 10 that we talked about earlier. The next is the recruit's natural market. I've spent a lot of time on that, and Art talks about that a lot on his talking. And I remember when I was, young in the business, and I go to meetings, and there'd be thousands of people there. Literally 6, 7, 10,000 people at a meeting that Art conducted, and he would talk about, the best referrals of recruits in the natural market. Now I don't know if everybody else heard him, but I heard him. I heard him loud and clear. And he said, you should build your business with your recruiting in the natural market. So I've concentrated on learning how to build my business with recruits in the natural market, because I can generate working capital while I'm working with them, because you have to have working capital so you can stay in business. Okay, and recruits provide you with what I call a relationship marketing advantage. In other words, the people that you get to go see, you get to carry your recruit's relationship with you in their home. So you're not spending so much energy trying to build this big trust factor. So you have relationship marketing as an advantage. What a big deal that is. Do you agree with that, Sarita? That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you get to work with a recruit in their natural market. Okay? The new recruit will open up the door. The new recruit will make it possible for you to meet. And I believe that you should use a 3-way on the phone because it just eliminates the fireman and the ping pong approach of what happens when the recruit tries to make the appointment and it doesn't fit your schedule, and you ping him and you pong him back, and you go through the frustration when you can put all 3 together, and you can learn how to do that. But that's on one of our training CDs, so I'm not going to cover that today either. But the Recruits Natural Market is the place to be. And so I focused on doing that. And that's why I spend the bulk of my energy is working with new people and making sure that as a field trainer that they want to be trained by me. So you have to learn to make yourself attractive to people. And I'm not meaning in the sense that you want to go on a hot, steamy date. I mean attractive in the sense that, hey, this is the guy, or this is the girl that I want to be trained by. They're one of the best in the office, if not the best. They seem to have produced the most leaders. They've got the most success track record. I want to be trained by that person. So you want to present yourself and you want to master the business to make yourself attractive so people will want to come in and be trained by you.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got your Recruits Natural Market. Now the other good thing about the Recruits Natural Market, Savitri, is that it's unlimited. So your natural market is limited, but a Recruits Natural Market is limited. So if you brought me on board, I joined you in your team, and I know 200 people, so now how many people do you now know on a first-name basis?
200.
The same 200. And you know them what? Through me. Okay? And if I've got a good reputation with them and I bring you with me, so how's your reputation?
Good also.
Good also. If I'm a crappy guy and I bring you with me, then you have a crappy reputation. So my relationship to them is tied to them, reflects you. It's all a game. Okay, so that market is unlimited. So I spent the bulk of my time working with new recruits in their natural market. The next group of people you're going to have is you're going to have client referrals. Clients are yours that have become clients, and they're going to give you referrals. That's a phase, and you can get unlimited numbers of those. And you should get referrals from clients and referrals from recruits. You should get them. But in realistic light, if I had a choice to work with a recruit in his natural market with a list of 10, or get a list of 10 names from a client, which one would you rather take?
Recruit.
Take the recruit. So if you're working with the clients, then you don't have any recruits. So your engine light should be on warning. There should be a warning sign start to come up and say warning. You're not working with any recruits. Therefore, you're not, developing leaders. You're not developing an override. You're working in your business and not on your business. See, when you're field training people, you're working on your business. If you're out personal producing, you're working in your business. Okay? So you're out personal producing, then you're building transactional income. If you're field training people, right, then you're building override income. See, these little bitty nuances ultimately compound over a period of time, equate to whether you have a big hierarchy or you end up being a personal producer at the end of 20 years. Okay, so client referrals. So should you get them? Absolutely, but pray that you don't have to use them. And if you are using them, make sure you're out there looking for new recruits when you're out there in the field and not for new clients. Now, don't turn down a client, but make sure that your antenna's up looking for a client. Make sure you offer the opportunity to everybody that you come across. Okay, so far so good. We're doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, when people that you interview, number 4. People that come out and take a look at the business, and primarily from 9 to 3, you should be doing a bunch of interviews with people. And when you're out doing those interviews with people, make sure that you get character reference from everybody, that you can call them and talk to them and have an interview with them. Ask them who are the 3 most ambitious people they know. Ask them who they know that's currently unemployed. See, you got to look for opportunities. Say, who do you know that's unemployed? Who do you know that's their job, their company is having some trouble and they might be looking for something different? I'd like to call them and give them an opportunity, have them come in for an interview. So make sure that you that you prospect through the interview process. Okay, does that make sense? Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Now the next is learning. I'm gonna call it the 3-foot rule. They call it the 3-foot rule. They call it friendship forming. Whatever it is, when you're out and about, I believe you should open your mouth and look for people. I talk to people all the time. I don't go out looking for people, but since I live in a city, I always run into people. So it's kind of like a natural thing. You always see people since you're in the city. And so when I'm out there and out and about, I'll open up my mouth and say, hey, have you ever thought about being in business for yourself? Do you see yourself being here the next 5 to 10 years? Do you believe that you can become financially independent doing what you do? You ever thought about being in business for yourself but not by yourself? Have you ever heard of Citi? You ever heard of Primerica? You can say just about anything you want to somebody and do it with a smile and do it with confidence and look them in the eye, and they will give you a response. And generally it's going to be a positive response. So you've got to go do that. When you're out talking to people, and a lot of people get confused, there are basically, 3 or 4 different types of presentations that you're going to give in Primerica. The first presentation that you're going to give is for a name and number. That is a presentation. That's something that you should practice over and over. And again, that's why we're giving you this series, so you can find your comfort level, but that's a presentation. The second presentation is when you call them up and set an appointment. That's a presentation. The third presentation is one for a recruit or one for a kitchen table to gather the client. And if you talk about the recruit first, then you go in back and you talk about the client. If you talk about them becoming a client first, then you eventually go talk about them becoming a recruit. And then the next presentation is for referrals. So those are presentations. Next presentation for them to come out to your op night. Whether they've joined you that day or didn't join you, you want to invite them out to the op night, your business overview. And I kind of really don't like to use the term op night though, because every company in the world talks about that. So I like to say, once you come out to our business overview, it's something related to that, because it's new. We're going to come out and present our business. Now, I'd like for you to come out and take a look at our business, get a chance to meet our VP and some other people like yourselves who are currently getting involved. Okay, and so these are the different ways that I believe one should prospect. Okay. A couple of things that I might do in a form of prospecting with people, and then we're going to get ready to jump on this CD. One of my guys, Gerard Gaines, is a real good prospector, regional leader. He asked people to say, hey, may I share my business card with you? Which that's fine. He likes doing that. He said, may I share my business card with you? So he'll share his business card with people and then exchange it. Look, I'm a regional leader. I'm expanding the area, looking to talk to people, and he'll arrange a time to meet with them, get their name and number, call and set an appointment. That's fine. I don't carry business cards. I don't like to, because I think what business card says a lot more than what I want to say at this present point. So when people ask me, do you have a card? I never lie. I just don't have one with me. I said, let's trade numbers, and I'll call you and we'll set up a time. So I might go up and I might ask you, say, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Great. What do you do here?
I'm a teacher.
Really? Are you a good teacher? You look like you got a smile on your face. Do your students love you?
Yes, except for when I give homework.
Oh, well, homework's good. I used to enjoy doing that when I was in school. How long have you been doing this?
2 years.
Really? Do you see yourself becoming financially independent?
Oh, of course not. You have to love teaching.
What brought you to teaching?
I like to see the light bulb effect.
Really?
Students.
Helping people get catch up.
Yep.
Our company's expanding. We're looking for sharp people, and I'm not sure if you're interested, but I'd like to have a business conversation with you to talk about what we do on a part-time basis. Are you open for that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Why don't we trade numbers?
Okay.
Okay. Now, when would be a time that both you and your husband would be available?
Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Wednesdays? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll call you and we'll go and set up a time that we can meet. Fair enough?
Okay.
Great. And the reason I said that is because Sarita's a young lady, she's an attractive young lady, and I wanted her to know that our conversation was going to be about business, not monkey business.
That's right.
So I asked, I know if she's married or not, and so I asked, when would be a time that both you and your husband would be available?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, she happened to be not married. Well, she said married, but she's really not married. So she's not married for this example. That's fine. We're going to handle it both ways. So this is good.
Okay.
So in this case, so she's not married. I said, okay, great. Then let's schedule a time that we can meet. Are you ever available during your day?
Yes, I am. Actually, my lunch break is from 12 to 1:30.
12 to 1:30. Can you leave the school?
Yes, I can.
Okay, then why don't we plan to meet? And I'd rather, this is look like a situation where we have to do a lunch meeting. And I really don't like doing lunch meetings. This is what it's sounding like. Because when you go to a restaurant, there's always a bunch of noise and people around. You can't do something effective. I really don't want to go up in the school and do a presentation because I don't think it's the right environment. I'm just letting you know how this is feeding. So I would want to attempt to arrange a time that we can meet afterwards. Right at school. Now, you generally, teacher, you get out at 3:30, right?
Yep, about 3:15.
Can we plan to meet at my office?
Okay.
around 4:30.
Okay, 4:30 would be better.
That give you enough time?
I have to get the buses done. I have bus duty this week.
Okay, no problem. So we'll meet Thursday, say around 4:30. And so again, I'm having her to come meet me in my office because she was single. And if I invite her to my office, it seems more professional.
Yep.
And I think that the female would feel more comfortable in that environment. Instead of saying, okay, I'll come over your house tonight. And say, oh, hell no. I don't know about that, right? Because we don't know, don't have a relationship. And so you got to be careful, guys, and even girls, how you're positioning yourself so that the person on the other end is going to feel comfortable and be receptive to your business opportunity. Okay, so those are just some points to bring up. Okay, so we would do that. Now, when I'm out talking to people, I would often say, hey, I'd like to meet and have a business conversation with you. I don't talk about opportunity. I don't talk about it. I want to have a business conversation because, again, the word opportunity in the 1980s was a wonderful word because nobody used it. Now everybody in the world uses that word and it's beaten up and blown out of proportion. So I don't do that. I say, look, I would like to meet and have a business conversation with you. I might see you out and about and see, you're a sharp person. Do you see yourself doing what you do for the next 10 years?
No.
Yeah? Do you see yourself becoming financially independent here?
Not teaching.
Okay. Can we sit down and have a business conversation? And great. Okay. And I'd like to sit down. We'll share our business with you. And so I'll trade numbers. Okay, great. Let's trade numbers. And I'll trade numbers. Now, if she said, "Give me your number, I'll call you," right? Go ahead and do that if you would.
Well, actually, can I take down your number and I'll give you a call?
That's okay.
I beg your pardon?
I said that's okay. I mean, I found business reach. I want to talk to you about business, nothing else. And I found that when I give people my number, they never call me. And so if I'm going to trust you and give you my number, for you to give me your number is not a big deal. But if it is a big deal, that's okay, and you have a great day and a wonderful life. That's what I do, okay? Because I just am not big on making people think that I'm begging them to come join me in business. Because I'm not. I want to talk to you about it, but I'm not begging you about it. So I have a certain level of confidence in how I talk and approach people. I don't go out to malls looking for people, but if you need to go out to malls and look for people, then great, then go do it. But you should only have to prospect, honestly, 30, 90 days at the most hard. And once you've done that enough, you should have gathered enough recruits, enough prospects to find yourself enough recruits that you're always working with and through your recruits to build your organization. So prospecting has got to be the number one fundamental. It's like water. Without water, there's no life. Without prospecting, I don't care how good you are at setting an appointment. I don't care, how good you are at the presentation. I don't care if you're the greatest closer in the world. If we don't have anyone to go tell our story to, our story is worthless. It's like you cut down a tree in the forest. The tree fell. No one was there. Did the tree make noise?
We don't know.
You don't know. You weren't there. And that's the same thing. If you mastered the last 9 fundamentals and you haven't mastered prospecting, then there's no way for you to go out and tell the rest of the story as to what really did happen. So we got to become comfortable with that. So again, through this series, you should be able to find your way, find your piece with prospecting, and then develop your style as to how you want to go out and always tell the truth, never mislead people, and tell the truth about who we are and what we do. Okay? People often, and we should cover this, people might ask you, what is that you do? People might ask you, and I say, let's just go through a scenario. I say, may I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do here?
I'm a teacher.
Really? You obviously enjoy teaching.
I do.
Yeah? And how long have you been doing it?
For 2 years.
You guys make a lot of money doing that, don't you?
That was funny. No, we don't.
No? Okay. Have you ever thought about doing things to make extra money?
Oh, absolutely. Every teacher I know works over the summer.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Our company is expanding here.
Really? What company?
I'm with Primerica, which is part of Citi. Are you familiar with Citigroup?
No.
You never heard of Citi? You've heard of Citibank, right?
I've heard of Citibank,
okay.
yeah.
Well, Citigroup is the parent, and Citibank is one of the sister companies, and we're Primerica. We're primarily a marketing division of Citi.
Okay.
And what I like to do, Primerica, but some call it Primerica.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. And what I would like to do is really sit down and have a business conversation, share our business with you, get your opinion, see what you think.
Well, what is it that you do exactly?
Well, we teach people about business, money, and finance.
Oh.
Does that interest you?
It does right now.
Okay, then let's trade numbers, and then I'll call you. We'll set up a time to meet.
Okay.
Okay. Will your husband be available? Are you guys normally available in the day or the evening? Which one?
In the evening.
In the evening. Okay. I'll call you and we'll set up a time to meet what's convenient for all three of us to get together.
Okay.
Fair enough?
That's fair.
Great. And I'll often look them in the eye and shake their hand. And then I'll trade numbers, and that's what I would go do. So that's just a scenario of what to do. So you find your path, find your way, and I think you'll be successful. Savita, do you have any questions or comments you might want to talk about what we put out here so far?
It sounds like we covered everything. We went over a few scripts already. And I think with the CDs that you have prepared, they should have everything that they need to go be successful and win.
Okay, I agree with that. And here's some numbers I want to put out. That this deals with prospecting, and this is science. And friends of ours put this together, Sharice Baham and Cedric Thomas, and they came up with that if you're a full-time person, okay, that you need to get at least 200 plus names a month in your business, in your inventory. And these names can come from any one of these 5 ways we've talked about. They can come from your natural market, recruits natural market, client referrals, interviews, and friendship forming. But you need 200 plus names a month. The easiest way to do that is understand you got to get 50 a week or 10 a day. That's it. And then from there, you want to set up 60 plus appointments a month, 15 a week, 3 a day, because we expect that 40% of them are going to keep, 60% of them are not going to keep. But that's what you want. And in those appointments, when you go out on those presentations, it's presentations for either recruits or for clients. Either one, recruits or clients. Because if I go to the recruit first, I'm going to go look for the client. If I come from the client first, I'm going to go to the recruit. That's what a full-timer should do. Those are the numbers you should shoot for. I created an opportunity, a position here, which I'm going to call a career changer. And a career changer is a person who's not full-time, but they want to be full-time and they're dead serious about becoming vice president, okay? They're either getting some things together mentally or getting some things together in their personal life so they can make that transition. Well, career changer needs to get 100 plus names, which is 25 a week, which is 5 a day. That's how many prospects they need to bring into their name, to their inventory every single week. Well, with that, they need to set up 40 appointments. 40 appointments, okay? And each way to do that, that's 10 a day, 10 a week, or 2 a day. That's what a serious career changer, somebody says, man, I'm serious about changing my life, boom, this is what I want to go do. A serious part-timer is going to go out and do 60 names, bring in 60 names a month, which is, that works out to what, is that 15 a week, which is 3 a day. And they're going to go out and set up 1 appointment a week, which is 5 and 20. So they're going to go out and set up 20 appointments a month, 5 a week, and set up at least 1 appointment a day. And the purpose, again, is either for a what? A recruit or a client. Okay? And that's their number. And if people are consistent, if they're consistency, a full-timer needs to do this to take off, okay? What I mean by take off is that if you look at a plane, and I consider a plane to be an absolute marvelous machine. You know, airplanes are incredible. You know, you were in Virginia today, and boom, you're in Dallas in a couple hours. And what a marvelous machine it is. But if that plane doesn't get to a certain runway speed, it would never take off. Even though it was prepared, you know, the pilot was ready, the steward was ready, there's fuel on board, there's all your luggage, everybody's prepared, strapped in, and the engines are running. But if the plane doesn't get to a certain runway speed, and if you came out on a 737, it's about 157 miles an hour. If you don't get to 157 miles an hour, the plane won't take off. All it's going to do is going to go till it runs out of runway, then it's going to crash and burn. So as a full-timer, you have to hit these numbers, 260, 50, 15, 10, and 3, to get your plane so you can get to a certain runway speed to take off. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand completely. I was thinking about this because I remember when I came out here in June and I was at the event with David Farmer and we were talking a little bit more about this after the event. I said, I'm going to commit to doing this. And I remember in July, July we did an event. I had a booth somewhere, and at that one event we got 150 names. And then on top of that, I went out and continued to prospect because I was committed to getting those numbers. And so in the month of July, I became a regional leader, and then 90 days later became a regional vice president.
Isn't that amazing? And what would happen, you got to keep these numbers up so you keep building, okay? Now, a career changer, these are people that are just dead serious about doing it. So their level of commitment of activity is higher than I would expect from a part-timer. And then we have some part-timers who just want to do it when they do it, and that's fine, and we're not going to manage that. But the people who want to be dead serious, these are the numbers. And I suggest that people knuckle down and go do it, and so you can get to your runway speeds. Because if you're prepared for success, and you are, and you can't get up in flight, it doesn't matter. So that's the number. These are the numbers. And oftentimes, I run into people who, blow me away. And see, water boils at 212. Okay? In fact, let's look at this a little bit different. Okay? You have this thing here called H, and you have this thing called O. On the periodic table, they're known as what? Hydrogen and oxygen. That's right. Okay, and as we know, I think there's about 104 known elements. Right. Now, I don't know why, Savitra. I have no clue. But maybe you do. You look like you're very intelligent. But when you take H2O, now H is a gas. O is a gas. How is it when you go H2O, it becomes a liquid known as water. But without water, there would be no life. It's amazing, but that's what it is. Yeah. So we can't explain it. There's some things we have to accept. That's true. Like prospecting, 200 names a day, 200 names a month, 200 names a month. Okay, I don't know why. And there's 212, and what is 212 associated with?
Boiling water.
Okay, and there's 32.
Freezing.
Okay, now water balls are 212 plus. Great. Which is this greater than? Is that less than?
Yeah, that's a greater than.
Which one's greater? Oh, I was right. Okay. Greater than or equal to 212. Water freezes at less than or equal to 32. Okay. At 33, what do you have?
It's not freezing anymore.
You have cold water. At 211, what do you have? Warm. Hot. No, it's hot. Water. But is it boiling? No. Or is it freezing? No. Okay? So that's why when people say, well, Charles, I got 40 names a week. 40 is not 50. That's it. Why is it the plane takes off at 157, not 156? Because it's just the way it is. That's it. Okay? So some things we have to accept. And you can fly the plane and say, well, I got up to 130. I should have taken. No, it's 157, man. Okay, so these are the numbers. Another number in Primerica that you've got to eventually buy into, and while you're prospecting, you have to do a portion, but you eventually got to buy into the number of 10. Yeah. What is 10 reference to you? Double-digit recruiting. You've got to buy into that at some point. That's what has to happen. 10 is double-digit recruiting. You have to do that.
Next month, after we got all those prospects, naturally, the next month in August, we had double-digit recruiting.
Yeah, double-digit recruiting. Amazing grace. Did you do it the next month after that, too?
No, because I stopped prospecting.
Okay.
Many names.
All right, so you stopped prospecting, and it went backwards, okay? Now, if you want your business to take off and also build a hierarchy, you're going to need a double-digit recruit for 18 to 24 months consecutively. Now, that's not you personally. It's you and your team, as long as you override that, okay? That's just critical for you to go position yourself to win. Are we okay so far? Yeah. All right, so double-digit recruiting is just a fundamental deal that's going to happen. Out of here, you need 4 people to test. You also need 4 of those to get to the testing process. What's going to happen to the other 6? A lot of things. The witness protection program, they get shot at the duck shoot. The dog had a toenail. Yeah. The mother told them, boo. I don't know. I don't know.
It rained.
People often ask me, why do people quit? I said, because they're quitters.
What quitters do.
That's exactly what they do.
Quitters do. They quit.
Okay. Now, out of the 3 people, one of those 3 people that passed the exam is going to be a framer. They're going to take the license and they're going to put it in the frame. That's all they're going to go do.
I have some framers.
Good. Well, I think the business is going well. One of them is going to do 3 or less sales and quit. They're going to do 3 or less sales and quit. Okay? And one of them is going to be a long-term believer. Okay? And they're going to bring to the organization an average of $1,500 a month in premium and 1 recruit every month. That's just about what's going to happen.
Wow.
That's the reality. Do you find it to be true of your team?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay?
Wow.
This is what's going to happen. So this is what your expectations should be. Okay? They are what they are. One's a framer, one does 3 or less and quit, and one sticks with you long range.
Okay.
And that's it. So that's why you've got to work to go out and get these people coming through the system every single month to help position you to go build your business and become totally financially independent.